So here's the question. Do you really want to work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for the next 40 years so you can finally get to that magical retirement so you can surf the world and do all this awesome stuff? No. You want to do it now. You want to learn how to travel the world now. Build a business that you love now. Work less and earn more now so you can do the things you're passionate about, do the things that you love, and create the life that you want now. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to summarize this book, ding, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. It's kind of my lifestyle Bible. It really got me on the path to building a business that I love so I could travel the world, so I didn't have to keep, backpacking and then coming home broke and, working a job, trading my hours for dollars. I wanted to learn how to automate my income, do the things that I love, and create that life now, not wait till retirement. So that's what we're gonna do in this book summary. Right now, let's get going. All right, guys, we're back. Gavin here. And if you enjoy this content, like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to be putting out a lot more content like this. Tons of book summaries on all of the books that have changed my life, allowed me to live in Bali, do the things that I love, do the things that I'm passionate about, build automated income, and just really rewire my mindset to stop thinking like the 95% of people who are not getting the things that they want in their life and who just follow everybody else because that's how our brains are wired. So if you're somebody who's really trying to break free from the status quo, I'm gonna be sharing all of the content, all of the things that have allowed me to do that. And one of the things that has allowed me to do that the most is this book, The 4-Hour Workweek. It's my lifestyle Bible. It's what I really started out with. And I remember reading this like 6 years ago, and I was like, oh my God, like this makes so much sense to me. Now, not necessarily working 4 hours a week, but what really makes sense to me is the fact that you don't have to do the traditional. Go to school, get a job, work 40 hours a week for 40 years, blah, blah, blah. To me, that's absolutely insanity in the world that we currently live in. So I'm gonna share with you guys the way of the new rich, and that's what Tim Ferriss calls it, versus being a deferrer, somebody who suffers their whole life to finally get to the promised land. Why not create that reality now? So there's a difference between the new rich and a deferrer. The new rich doesn't think about, I just want to be like a millionaire so I can have butlers and finally have that rich life. The new rich thinks, I want to be rich in experiences. I want to be rich in the things that I'm passionate about. I want to have more time to do the things that I love and create that amazing life. And the new rich also understands that less is actually more. So having less things that are bogging you down, like a mortgage and all these payments and all of this stuff, so you're just bogged down. The new rich wants freedom. We want to be free, and we want to be free now, because what do people want in retirement? They want freedom. They work their whole life to finally get freedom, but you can have freedom now. So to become and join the new rich, you want to figure out what it is that you truly want in life. How do you truly want to live? And you figure it out, reverse engineer it, so you can start to live it now. So in the first section of the book, Tim goes over this concept of you want to define your own rules and throw negative beliefs out of here. Because here's the thing, if you really want flexibility and mobility in your life, instead of just like safety and security and living that kind of scared mindset, then you're gonna have to really throw out all those beliefs that aren't serving you, and you're gonna have to define what you truly want in life. So here are 4 things that Tim talks about right from the beginning, and we'll go over these throughout the book. So it's number 1, definition. Number 2, elimination. Number 3, automation. And number 4, liberation. And we're gonna start with definition right now, which means you gotta define what you want. If you don't really know what you want, how are you gonna ever achieve it? So one of the ways I defined what I wanted was I wrote down 6 pages of what my ideal perfect day in the life would look like. Then I would start reverse engineering it and say, okay, that's the life that I want. Wait a second, that actually doesn't take that much money to live my perfect life. And then I started to ask myself, what would I need to do in order to live that perfect life? What kind of business would I need to be able to automate and be able to create that life now? To do the things that I'm passionate about, to be able to travel, to be able to work with nothing but my laptop and an internet connection. I had to ask myself these questions so I could define what that was. If I didn't define what that was, how the heck was I ever going to achieve it? So first thing to join the ranks of the new rich is define what you truly want, not what society tells you should want, not what your parents tell you that you should want, what you, your soul, heart, gut, what do you truly want? You only live one life, so you gotta stop living it for somebody else. You gotta stop living it based off of society's expectations of you, and you have to ask yourself what you actually want. Define it. So the problem is most people set very surface level goals, like I want to make this amount of money, or I want a new house, or I want a new car. They're very surface level, realistic goals. What the new rich does is they set very unrealistic goals, meaning that doesn't mean that they are not grounded in reality. They just don't believe in the goals that most people set, and they think much bigger. And they think about having and getting those goals sooner in life, not waiting till retirement. But the problem within that is most people don't think that those goals are possible. And here's the craziest part about it. Tim actually does this experiment, and he asked this group of kids in a classroom to all try to find a creative way to contact some sort of famous person. And whoever contacts this person first, or whoever contacts one of these people, would win some sort of prize. I can't remember what the prize was. And they all came back the next day, and none of them had contacted a famous person. But here's the thing, did any of them even try? And the answer was no. And why did none of them try? None of them tried because none of them thought it was possible. And this is actually how most people live life. They see an unrealistic goal and they think it's just not possible, so they don't even try. So here's the truth. The truth is, for me to come and live in Bali and create a business online that's automated income and blah, 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 it's actually not that hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's actually not that hard. Why? Because most people think that it's hard, so they don't even do it. So the competition at the top, the 1%, is not very much because most people don't even try because they're too scared. They don't think it's gonna happen. They just have this very realistic mindset that I can do what everybody else does, and that's obviously easy, but I can't do anything beyond that. Same with Roger Bannister in the 1952 Olympics. What happened? He said, I'm gonna run a 4-minute mile. And everybody else was like, that's not possible to run the 4-minute mile, right? But he's like, no, I can do it. What ended up happening? He ran the 4-minute mile. Everyone else is like, it's impossible for a human being to do that. But he did it. And then that same year, so many other people ended up running the 4-minute mile. Why? Because it suddenly became a realistic goal. As soon as other people's minds start to believe something is possible, then more people start to do it. Why? Because more people try to do it, if that makes sense. More people believe that they can because they've seen somebody else do it. So you have to really get rid of any limiting beliefs that are stopping you from creating the life you want and realize that it's very possible. You're just limiting yourself by not even trying. All right, so next. When it comes to productivity, less is actually more. And this is a really counterintuitive concept that most people are not aware of. But it comes from the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, which states that 80% of your results are gonna come from 20% of your actions. And you can look at this law in almost anything you look at in the universe. There's almost always an 80-20 principle. So if you know that 80% of your results in every area of your life are gonna come from 20% of your actions, what should you focus 80% of your time on? Should you focus it on everything, or should you focus it on the high value activities that are gonna get you the results? Obviously, you should focus on getting the results. But what most people do is they do a lot of busy work, a lot of the work that is not gonna get them the big results. So they're not being effective and efficient. They're actually just being very busy. And you don't want to be busy if you want to be joining the new rich. You want to get really good at finding out what are the things that you're really good at, your high value skills, and then how can you outsource the other skills that are not what you're good at. Outsource all of the busy work, all of the little tedious, mundane stuff, so you can focus on the high value, and your 1 or 2 hours a day is very productive, and then you can outsource the rest and then have the rest of your day to do the things that you want to do. And you should also be in some sort of business where the high value stuff is stuff that you like to do as well. But overall, you can work a lot less if you're playing within your zone of genius, within your strengths, within your gifts, and then outsourcing the things that you're not good at that take you forever and that are not the high value activities. Then on top of that, you have to understand Parkinson's law, which states the more time you have allotted for something, the more you will use all of that time to get it done. So let's say you have a test in 2 weeks. You're gonna maybe wait till the last 2 days to study for that test, but you had 2 weeks. But what if you just had 2 days till that test? Well, you'd probably study in the same amount of those 2 days. So the closer you get to the end of something, the more work that you put in. So if you can put more deadlines on things, you can actually get things done faster. You can put leverage against yourself. Or like my friend Mike Fasteel likes to say, you should be putting a death line on yourself. So what he did is he asked himself when he was like 18, 20 years old, if I were to die at 30, what would I do in my life if I only had 10 years to live? And what did that do? That put a time limit on his life, so he started taking massive action and living the life that he wanted now. The same life that somebody would want to live when they're 70 to 80, he's like, screw that. These are the healthiest years of my life. I'm gonna die at 30. I'm gonna work my ass off now in case I only have 10 years left to live. So you have to start to put deadlines on things and then use the 80-20 principle, focus on the highest value things that you need to do to get 80% of the results, and then also focus on what are the 20% of things that you love to do that make you 80% happy. What are the 20% of things that you need to eat that are gonna make you 80% healthy? Do you see what I'm saying? So you do this in every area of your life and you become very efficient at getting the things you want without putting in so much work. It's working smart, not just working hard. So the next part of this formula is elimination, because we don't want to just add more things in our life in order to get the results we want. We actually need to find out the things that are holding us back and eliminate them, or the things that we're not good at and eliminate and outsource them so we can focus on the high value tasks. So this is a good question to ask yourself every day. If I were to get this one project done today, would that be a successful day for me? Because a lot of times we have this big to-do list and we just can't get all of it done every day, of course. But if we could pick out the one thing every day that's the most high value thing, would that be a successful day? Because after 365 days of doing the high value thing while outsourcing the other things, how productive would we be? And the answer is extremely productive, because most people just do busy work all day while you're focusing on the really high value things that are bringing in the most results. I can't tell you how powerful that concept is. Now, on the other side of this is a lot of us, we like to learn, right? So we start to learn all these different things all the time instead of asking ourselves, what do we need to learn right now to get results? Because when we start to learn the things that we need to learn now that we can immediately apply in our lives, not only do we learn it, we put it into action and it becomes a part of us. And it's who we become that attracts the results that we want. So it's not always just about reading another book or watching another one of these YouTube videos. It's about how can I go out and find an expert who can walk me through the process and take me to the results 10 times faster. Like, that is such a different mindset shift. And this is how the high level people think. They're thinking, how can I get the results as fast as possible? How can I find somebody who's already gotten those results, hire that person to help me get the results way faster, versus just trying to read all these different books. And books are great, and these videos are great, but if you're only doing this and then you're not immediately applying this information, it's just kind of, it collects dust in the attic, so to speak. You want to immediately get that information while it's fresh, take action on it, have it become a part of you, and then it is you own it at that point. It's not just random knowledge that's floating around in your brain. You own it, it's a part of you, you've became it, and then you start to get way more results way faster every single day. So in this next part of the book, Tim talks about how you need a lot of self-discipline and you need to control your environment. Here's one of people's worst habits, and you probably have it, most people have it, some of you have broken free from it, but just by the raw statistics and the raw numbers, most of us have this problem, and I still go through this problem sometimes. And that is, we're being controlled from the outside. When we wake up in the morning, we're reactively checking email, checking social media, doing all these unconscious behaviors, and we are not controlling our environment. Our environment is controlling us. So the really high productive people that I know, they put their phone on airplane mode and they have a morning routine set for the morning to put themselves into peak state right away, because they do not want whatever messages are coming in to control how they feel at the beginning of the day. They want to control how they feel from the inside first so they can express themselves to the world. They don't want the world expressing their opinions on them and then them feeling what everybody else is getting them to react to. So really understanding, like, being productive is about controlling your environment. It's about controlling who you hang out with. It's about controlling what you put in your body, how you exercise, what you put in your mind, what you are doing on a daily basis, and not being controlled by everybody else around you and just randomly stumbling into life. If you're randomly stumbling into life, you're randomly getting results. But if you're consciously designing your environment, and this is what's called actually ontological design, it's where humans go out and they build something, and whatever they build comes back and builds who they are. So it's like humans build the church, and then they go into that church, and that church builds them into who they become. So we are constantly building things that come back and build who we become. So why not consciously ask ourselves, who do I want to become? And then what habits and behaviors do I need to put in place so I automatically become that person? And this is such a simple concept, but I bet probably 2% of people on the planet actually do this, because it's a very hard thing in a world of constant things coming at us from all angles. It's really, really easy to get sucked in. And especially, with Facebook, Instagram, all of these things are specifically designed to make us have these high levels of dopamine hits and just be addicted to them and coming back and being reactive to them and ding notifications and all this stuff happening. It's really hard to control our environment. So it actually takes a lot of self-discipline to put these things in place and actually follow them. But if you do, you will become one of the most productive people that you know, and you will separate yourself from the crowd, and you will absolutely be able to get and attract whatever you want in this life. All right, so the third step is automation. Now, this is a crucial step because you have to learn how to outsource. Some people, when they think about the 4-hour work week, they're thinking you just work 4 hours a week and then everything just magically happens. It's like, no. And it's not just straight software that's dealing with all of your income and making you money magically, It's about taking the money that you make from your business and reinvesting it into outsourcing all the things that you shouldn't be doing so you can focus on the high value tasks. When you do this, you can build a business and you can put people in place of that business so you can just leave for a week and the business will keep running itself because you have people running the business. Does that make sense? So if you actually think about the amount of hours worked on the business that week, it may be 200 hours were worked on the business that week. You just only worked 4 hours because you had other people doing the things that you would have been doing if you didn't hire them to do them for you. This is such a simple concept, but people who think the 4-hour work week is a big scam and bullshit, they just don't have an entrepreneurial mindset. They're just used to trading hours for dollars, so they actually believe if I just traded hours for dollars, I would only make, $40 a week, or whatever. Or I would only make, a couple $100. That's not possible. I wouldn't be able to do it. But they just don't understand that if you actually just hire people because the business is bringing in money, you hire people and you're actually hiring people so you can create time freedom for yourself. The business itself may make a little bit less, or you may make a little bit less profit, but instead you're gaining time freedom. And if you just take 20% of the income of the business, you put it into more employees, you're still making great income, but you're having a lot more time to do the things that you want. So you have to learn how to automate your business. Now, you also have to ask yourself, I need to create a business that I can run from anywhere in the world, that I can run from my laptop. If I want to travel, I need to create an online business, because if I don't create an internet business, it's going to be very hard to have something that's running back home. It's still possible. You can still do that, and a lot of people do, and a lot of people have multiple income streams, are at much higher level than I am. But at the end of the day, you want to create an online business that you can put people in place to run, so you can take that week off and do whatever you want. Or you can work 1 or 2 hours a day and be completely fine, because you're still working 30 hours a day on the business. It's just not you doing it, it's your employees doing it. So when you get into that mindset, you can create income without you physically doing the work, because you've set up the system and set up the people to do the work for you. So in the next section, Tim talks about testing your products and the services that you want to sell before you put them to market. I see this problem so much in entrepreneurship. People come up with a product idea, come up with a business idea, they set up the whole business, create their business plan, get their business cards, do all of that, to then find out that nobody actually wants to buy the product, because they actually started selling what they think other people wanted because they like it. That's not how business works. That's a very hard way to become successful. What you actually want to do is you want to go out and test to find out how the market's responding to something, and then sell what people are actually responding to, because you know they're going to buy it. If you do it that way, you're almost guaranteed that you're going to be able to make some money off of this product or service, because the market is responding positively and giving you money for it. So instead of setting everything up, it's better to test things and figure out what the thing is first. This is just a much more efficient way to do it. So this is what we do in our business. We don't do drop shipping for our business, but we will test a product with drop shipping. We will go out and we'll see, okay, are people responding to this product? Are they buying it? Is it going to be profitable? Okay, it is going to be profitable. Now we can actually order in this product, get our own packaging on it, do our own stuff, because we know it's going to work and we know the market actually wants it. Once you do that, you have a much better chance in success in business. This book is not just about creating the 4-hour work week. It's also about just how can you be more efficient and smart in life? How can you stop doing what everybody else is doing and just going off of only your intuition of what you think is going to work, and actually put some real science into your business? Go out and test multiple things till you find out what is actually working. Take ego out of the equation. Who cares if you're right or wrong? Just care about the results. And if the results speak, then follow the results. Don't follow what you think is going to work. Follow what is actually working. And just be able to say, I was wrong about that. I thought that was going to work, but it didn't. Move on, and then move on to the next thing. And then find more things that are working. Add more things into your life that are working. Cut out more things that aren't. Life should be a constant test, a constant feedback loop. If you realize that you're not good at something over time because you've been testing it, then you've understood more about yourself. If you realize, wow, I'm actually pretty good at this other thing that I didn't think I was good at, you can start doing more of that because you're really good at it. If you're constantly testing things, you are going to get better feedback. And if you're getting better feedback and you're learning from that feedback, you're going to get better results. My formula is always learn, do, reflect, optimize, and do better. And just cycle through that. And you will cycle up in life in every area if you go through that formula. So in terms of finding the products and services that you want to sell to gain this 4-hour work week, test first, figure out what's working, do more of that, outsource more, so you're getting more power behind what you're already doing, and you're just going to get more and more results, and you're going to keep going on that upward spiral. All right, guys, so there's so many more gems in this book, and this video is actually much longer than I thought it was going to be, but there's just so much power behind these concepts. But I just want to kind of summarize what we went through. So in the very beginning, you want to define what it is that you truly want in life. What is your new rich lifestyle? What does that look like to you? Then you're going to want to eliminate all the things in your life that are preventing you from getting this, and really use that 80-20 principle. Do 20% of the things that are going to get you 80% of the results. Then you're going to want to automate your income and then get other people to outsource the things that you don't want to do. So the things that you're not good at doing, you need to be getting other people to do them so you can focus on your high value tasks. So it kind of looks like you're a superhero doing so much stuff. A lot of people think I'm doing so much stuff all the time, when in actuality, I'm outsourcing so many things so it looks like I'm getting so much done, which I am. I'm getting results, but it's not just me physically getting those results. And then after that, you really want to liberate yourself. You want to be able to live anywhere. You want to have a business that you can run from your laptop with nothing but an internet connection. You want to liberate yourself from having to be, chained down to an office job or chained down to a certain location or chained down to anything, so you can be free to do what it is that you want, pursue your passions, pursue something of purpose, have amazing friends around you, control your environment, do the things that really light you up so you can achieve more of what you want in life. And at the end of the day, that's what this book is about. There's so much more behind it. So I highly suggest making a purchase of that book. You can grab it in the link in the description. But guys, I just wanted to share this book with you because it's been so powerful for me. If you like this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Really, it's you guys that are gonna help grow this channel and get this information out there, because just like you're not into the status quo and just doing what everybody else does. You wanna break free and do something really wonderful in your life, something that when you envision it, it just lights you up inside. That's exactly how I am. We're kind of like the same like that. So if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. We'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.